Okay, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see that it's April 9th, 2015 as a result of me showing you this video picture of this track phone. And I'm going to use a feature within the menu called it's the Tools feature. And once you click on it, you can activate a feature called the voice command. That enables the phone to state the date and time.
Say a command.
I'm going to go down to, oh, wait a minute. Alright, I'm activating the voice command.
Say a command.
Then I'm going to go scroll down to time and date.
April 9th, Thursday, 4:38 p.m. Say a command.
I'm going to do it one more time for the sake of my tape recorder that's recording my statements right now, so hold on a second.
Say a command. April 9th, Thursday, 4:38 p.m.
Now the tape recorder does reflect the date electronically, but I try to always have a fail-safe just in case if I ever have to use this audio file from the tape recorder in court, I can have a backup pertaining to proving the date and time. Now just bear with me for a second, you'll understand what this video is about. Let's see here, what do we got? Okay, now, alright, here we go. Okay, just turn it off. Now, I apologize for that. Title of this video, Learning Disabled Woman Being Banned from San Diego Libraries and Universities Included, Gang Stalking. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Leslie Williams. Now, as you can see, I'm making this video right now inside of a tent, and the reason why I'm in only about 3 to, at the very most, 4 times out of 100 is my tent still up within an hour after I wake up. Now just hear me out, bear with me, and you're going to understand what this video is all about, the subject matter, and my statements. Now, I'm a target of what is known as organized stalking, which can also be termed as gang stalking, in La Jolla, California, which is in San Diego County. Now, you can go to YouTube and you can go to Google, but before I make any, I'm gonna give you some YouTube titles here in a second, which you can also Google. Excuse me. But before I do that, I think I better maybe explain just a little bit, so you can understand that when you're picked as a target of gang stalking, which is also called organized stalking, one target can be picked for multiple different criminal motivations, including but not limited to illegal syndicated probate control, for insurance fraud, racketeering, and human trafficking, and a syndicated run organized crime group home. The target individual can be picked also for identity theft, land co-opting, property co-opting, mortgage co-opting. In fact, you can go to YouTube right now and type in Randy Quaid gang stalking. He's an actor. Every bit of his assets, including even his own homes, were taken from him by a corrupt probate attorney, a corrupt lawyer in Hollywood. Now, these crimes have been covered on local news broadcasts, national radio shows, and national TV shows. I have even been on national radio shows. So, Clyde Lewis with Ground Zero. Now, fellow American citizens, just bear with me right now, because the only reason, earlier at the beginning of this video, after I showed you the time and date on my phone, I stated that my tent, okay, only about 3 to 4 times out of 100 is my tent still up, especially with me in it. Only about 4 times out of 100 concerning each and every day that I am inside my tent. I'm only inside my tent when I put it up about an hour before dark. I sleep in it, I get up in the morning, and I immediately get dressed, put all my pajamas and sleeping bags in 2 separate 55-gallon contractor bags, and then I get outside the tent, I hide them, camouflage them, take the tent down along with the tarps, and hide them I hide the tarps in the weatherization sheet, and then I put the tent in my backpack. Now you can go to Google and type in gang stalking and or organized stalking and how they create homelessness of targets. You can also, each description that I type in, each description that I state, like, go to Google and type in gang stalking creating homelessness of targets, gang stalking landlords and property owners, gang stalking in universities. In fact, every description I state, like libraries, universities, grocery stores, businesses, security guards, police officers, lawyers, doctors, judges, all of these descriptions, psychiatrists, all of these, and homeless shelters, self-help groups, fraternities, sororities, non-profit organizations, every single utility company personnel, landscape workers, construction workers, anybody and everybody can be brought on board to do things for the perpetrators, because the perpetrators are in the system at the federal, state, and local level. It's a syndicate. And it's a networked syndicate in every state in the United States. You can go to Google right now and type in any state, like you could say Missouri gang stalking target, and hit enter and look at what comes up. Same thing for Rhode Island, Maryland, Michigan, Florida, Texas, Canada even. Absolutely. It's a nationwide syndicate. Okay, and they operate on the same methods and tactics and maneuvers and schemes towards every target individual, because they have the same criminal motivations for each and every target individual. These crime groups are infested in the system, and they have tentacles out within the community. Let me just put it to you this way. If you have one or two flat-foot cops, and this is no, I know if any cops are watching my videos, they might think, she's got a lot of nerve calling me a flat-foot. Look, it's just a term I use. I have no disrespect for good, uncorrupt cops at all. My father was Chief MP to General Curtis LeMay. Okay, hold on. And cops can even be victims of this crime. Okay, so just, ignore the flat-foot statement. The point being is this, is that even police officers can be victims of this crime. So you can go to Google and type in Hemet Police Gang Squad, Gang Stalked in Hemet, California, H-E-M-I-T. Okay, so, and they've even sent me text messages to my Virgin Wireless phone stating that they are above the cops. Now, there's a manifesto that's on the internet right now that was written by a manager of gang stalking, and then went to an internet cafe and posted it online, and it spread like wildfire. Now, you can go to Google and type in a gang stalking tech, everything you need to know. It's not everything you need to know, but it does give you a good foundation to build on. It flat out states that these individuals believe that they're above the police. And they do control the police, and they are above the police, and they are, because they're at the federal level. And some entire police departments have been totally co-opted by these crime groups. Now, fellow American citizens, you might think to yourself, okay, well, I'll take what she states and I'll research it, and you'll be able to see that what I'm telling you is the truth, but there's not going to be nothing you can do about it. If a selected target individual cannot get no help, you're not going to be able to help all target individuals. Oh, and by the way, lawyers in gang stalking, research that. Churches in gang stalking. The reason why I'm making this video, it's an update video, and it's a prediction video. If I am arrested in the next 90 days at any hiking area, or if any incident happens along any of my routes, including at businesses, libraries, any library, the law library downtown, I'm being gang stalked at the law library downtown like you would not believe. Staff and security guards, the staff that works there and security guards, are they participating in the gang stalking expedition of me? When you go to Google right now and type in libraries and gang stalking, look at how many Google generated numeric responses come up, and then pay attention to the blogs that come up, okay? Concerning what targeted individuals are saying about how they're being gang stalked at libraries. Are staff being mentioned? You can do the same thing pertaining to universities and university libraries. Are staff being mentioned? Do you really believe that individuals who do not know each other, thousands of us who are all over the internet writing blogs about our experiences, who don't even know each other, who have never communicated with each other, are sharing the same exact identical complaints, okay, and implying who's involved if it wasn't happening? Because organized stalking, gang stalking expeditions, who I've already aforementioned are doing them, are operating on the same exact methods, tactics, maneuvers, and schemes, okay, using their employment descriptions to do it, influence in the government, and libraries are government, and when the police are connected to these crimes, they're not doing nothing but using, but not limited to, law enforcement tools, like the community notification, that target individuals are illegally and criminally being put on in order to use, okay, institutions, government agencies like social services, banks. Yes, because banks do have government influence over them. Makes no mistake about it, they do. Okay, and also when you look at how the techniques of gang stalking are used, like if you went to YouTube and typed in "listen to a stranger," you can then get a preliminary visual representation to some of the techniques of gang stalking. Hold on a minute. Now, the only reason why I'm in this tent is because I got an extremely bad head cold, sinus infection, and migraine, and I know you're probably thinking I shouldn't be smoking. But if you were under the stress that I am under. Anyways, the point being also is this, is that if you go to Google and type in how they create homelessness of targets, they create the homelessness to exploit the target by exploiting the circumstances that are created from the creation of the homelessness. Their schemes. Illegal syndicated probate control by claiming the target can't take care of themselves because they're homeless and won't get out of it, even using police officers to pretend like they're offering them services, okay? Like they could approach me and say, why don't you go to the San Diego Homeless Rescue Mission? They'll offer you all these services and you can get all this help. You go there and they advertise this help to get you to sign the papers. And then guess what they'll do? They'll initiate the gang stalking of you there to psychologically motivate you to move. Absolutely. Hold on. To psychologically motivate you to move on, to leave. And then you'll go back to hiking and camping, and then they'll stage an event at the camping area to make it appear that the police have a normal appearing reason to know where you're at. And then what they'll say, well, weren't you offered services? Why aren't you utilizing them? Because I was gang stalked there. What's gang stalking? I don't understand. Are you crazy? And then they'll walk away if they don't arrest you. They'll at least tell you got to move, and they'll walk away with an incident report or a police report stating that you're mentally ill and probably homeless because of it. And then they'll repeat this shit over time. A year, 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5. And the reason why they string it out this long is because in order to get the syndicated probate control, they have to show a long, chronic record of homelessness through social services, doctors, police officers, fire department, EMS. And this is what is used to petition the state to take syndicated probate control that these organized crime groups own. Group homes. And then they apply for federal, state, and local funds in your name. Absolutely. And the gang stalking of you continues in these homes. So the insurance fraud can start and begin and continue, and human trafficking, voyeurism, pornography, date rape, drugs. Do you understand? Innocent women are being taken out of their homes for these criminal aspirations. And if you don't think that they're not drugging women and raping them, go to YouTube and type in "stalked in San Antonio." 2 women raped in their own homes as a result of them entering their homes when they were gone and drugging their food, waiting until the drug took effect, and then coming in and raping them. Hold on. Now you might think to yourself, well, how did they know when they ate the food? Because these filthy red-ass animal whores will set up video cameras, small spy cameras in the home to see what the women are doing. And then just noticing when they're knocked out. And you can go to Google and YouTube and type that in, how they will enter a target's home and set up video cameras, voice recorders. I've read target individuals' blogs where women have found voice-activated recorders in the panels of their closet doors. Other ones have found cameras in keyholes of their apartment, of the doors in their apartments. And one woman found a camera hidden on the inside of her medicine cabinet mirror. They've entered my apartments and have moved furniture around. Now I'm going to go back to the stalked in San Antonio YouTube video. 2 women are covered in that news broadcast. One woman stated, amongst other things, that they entered her home and turned on all the lights. The second woman stated that they had entered her home, on top of raping both of them, that being part of both of their testimonies, stated that they entered her home and stole some jewelry and then replaced them at a later date. I have right now not only my physical possession, but I also have information that is stated in 2 separate, multiple different Yahoo and Gmail accounts stating they did the same exact thing to me. Certain emails show that they entered my home as I was sleeping and turned on all the lights and opened up all the doors, amongst other things. Other emails show me stating that they entered my home, stole things out of my backpack, and then returned them on a later date. And you will also notice in that YouTube video, in that news broadcast, that Mr. John Hall, okay, is talking about a book that he wrote concerning some sophisticated technology that they can use against organized stalking, gang stalking targets, and he's all over the internet discussing remote neural monitoring. Now, fellow American citizens, fellow San Diegoans, fellow Californians, you can also go to Google and type in a book title called The Invisible Crime by Mike Fitzhugh-Bell. Oh, but I just thought of something. These emails that I wrote concerning me describing what was happening to me in some apartments in Michigan were made in 2006, 7, 8, and 8. This broadcast concerning Stockton, San Antonio was not broadcasted until February 17, 2010, after I had already made these emails. Now, the book titled The Invisible Crime, written by Mike Fitzhugh-Bell, who was on the Coast to Coast AM radio show, national radio show, on Valentine's Day 2013, he was discussing the book. He was on that show with a Roger Tulsis. You can go to YouTube and type in Roger Tulsis electronic harassment, and you can go to Google and YouTube and type in Mike Fitzhugh-Bell and the book The Invisible Crime. Now, why am I bringing this up? That book was not written or published until 2011. Okay, that's one key to remember. And then I'm gonna make some statements concerning Roger Tulsis and what he stated as he was on the Coast to Coast AM radio show with Mike Fitzhugh-Bell. Okay, being interviewed by George Noory on Coast to Coast AM on Valentine's Day 2013. I heard the radio broadcast and then bought the book from Barnes & Nobles. I don't have it in my physical possessions right now. It's at another HA area, which means hiking area. But you can buy it through Amazon. In this book, it clearly states that, amongst other things, that Mike Fitzhugh-Bell wrote that they entered his apartment and took the blinds off his windows and threw them on the floor. There's already a blog online written by me stating that they did this in one of my apartments in 2010 in Michigan. Now, so Google that, and then eventually I'll include, you could probably go to Google and type in Learning Disabled Woman Tortured in Michigan, and you'll find it. It was made in December of 2010. Now, I believe it's either in that blog or the same, or a different blog that was written in Michigan, shows me stating that I experienced an electronic shock that went through my foot and violently woke me up out of my sleep. Now, listen carefully. In the same radio broadcast that was posted, that was on the Coast to Coast AM radio show, Roger Tulsis talked about some of the technology that can be perpetrated against an organized stalking, gang stalking targeted individual. Roger Tulsis shared about how an individual who was a physics major from the University of California back in 1970s sent an electronic shock through this elderly couple's apartment that they were adjacent to, and it went through their foot and it electrically shocked them. And this happened back in 1976. He said that that was one of his earliest cases. Now, I don't know about you, but I didn't even know that what was happening to me was gang stalking until June 9, 2009. And my blog was written in 2010, and this broadcast was not broadcast until Valentine's Day 2013. My name is Elsie Williams. I live in San Diego, California. I am subject to daily intimidation through fear that I'm going to be arrested for camping as a result of the San Diego Police Department not making one police report concerning the factual reality that I am a victim of gang stalking. And I'm going to prove it in this video. Hold on a second. What they're doing is propping up what is known as staged complaints, staged accusations, and staged events towards me, concerning me, at public libraries, including the law library downtown. And you might think to yourself, okay, well, why are they doing this? Because they know that I got indisputable evidence that I am a victim of gang stalking and where it's happened at, including UCSD. Now, remember how I talked about how that physics student was a student from the University of California. The show, The Invisible Crime, was about gang stalking, organized stalking, and some of the technological resources that these gang stalking perpetrators use. Okay, now why this phone is booting up, I'm going to talk to you about what you're going to hear. One of the main methodologies that they've been perpetrating around me concerning me in California, in San Diego, and in Yucca Valley when I left San Diego County to go to Yucca Valley for 1 week. The individuals that I went to go see in Yucca Valley, his name being David Larson, His physical home address was looked up by me at UCSD in La Jolla, where I was gang stalked on a feverish scale by biomedical library staff. Was library security involved in it? Go to YouTube and type in learning disabled woman exposes library security guard admitting stage complaint can cause her to be banned. Then go to Google and YouTube and type in learning disabled woman exposes gang stalking at UCSD. Now at the beginning of this video I showed you a video picture of my track phone that showed the date and time. The date was right, but the time was a little bit ahead of what it actually is right now. It's only actually 4:10 p.m. and I think that's because that track phone went out of service before daylight savings time kicked in. Okay, so what I'm going to do, so it's just off by about 40 minutes, but the date's correct. Now, just bear with me for a second. Now, what have they been doing with me along all my routes, everywhere I go? I'll get back to the staged complaints and staged events. So they can use these staged events in order to make it appear they got a normal appearing reason to ban me from these libraries. And why are they doing that? I'll give you a fast illustration. Have you ever heard of situations where a abusive spouse will take away the credit cards, the money, the computer, and the phones, including cell phones, of the spouse that they're abusing? And they do this so the woman is trapped in the home, no money or credit cards to run. So the spouse will isolate them from friends and family. Okay, by creating problems, divide and conquer between the friends and the family of the spouse, so that he can isolate her in the home with no friends, no family, no money, and no communications, computer and phone. This is so he can, if he's raping her or physically abusing her or sexually enslaving her or just treating her like a maid, a slave, this is so he can do it in private with no help, nowhere to go, no one to run to. Same concept. They're staging these events at libraries and now even places that I'm using Wi-Fi services at, because right now I have a Chromebook laptop that they're eventually going to make inoperable. Go to Google and type in how they will hack into a target's computer and make it inoperable. They will also take away the eventual Wi-Fi capabilities of this phone and one that I just bought for 24 bucks over at Ross, which so far is not working correctly. I'm gang stalked at that Ross like you would not believe. Now, why are they doing this in part? Because they know where they eventually are going to try and take me. They're going to take away my Social Security, make no mistake about it. They're going to take away my Social Services benefits, including through arrest. Because if they arrest me for illegal lodging, because they can prop up anybody. Through the tracking of my cell phone, they can know where I'm at in real time at all times, whether I'm stationary, sitting, standing, or walking. So they can easily see that I've been here for 8, 9, 12 hours as a result of sleeping here, and then since I'm sick, I'm here. Okay? I got a bag hold. So they can see where I'm at. As a result of them knowing where I'm at, they can easily prop up anybody to act like they're stumbling across me, or that somebody heard me, or saw my property, okay, from a distance, and then use that person or persons to call the police. So the police can make it look like they got a normal appearing reason to know where I'm at. You know what they did in my last hiking area? They tried to state that they were searching the area for an individual who had an arrest warrant, and I literally predicted that that would be the excuse they would use months before. And I didn't even remember it until after I moved, and that's the honest truth. And as soon as I can find some time out of my schedule, I'm going to find those old audio files. Because I made so many predictions, I forgot what tape recorder it's on and or microcard that fits into the tape recorders. Like, let me just show you real fast. This tape recorder, the type of tape recorder that it is, once you use the internal memory of it, you can buy microcards that go into the side of them to place into them, so you can extend the memory. I got at least 50 memory cards and video cards, okay? So I'd have to literally go through hundreds of audio files. And I know that I made that prediction because what I did was sat back and made an itemized list of the available type of excuses that they would use that appear normal, okay, that they could use in order to make it appear they had a normal appearing reason to know where I was at that last hiking area, okay, and then being able to walk away and be able to apply plausible deniability to the event pertaining to the excuse. And they literally used it. And I know that it's on one of my audio files because I made the prediction on numerous audio files. Okay, hold on. Now, what they're doing with me, I'll get back to the staged events in a minute. Let me check my video time here. Now, I'm running out of video time, so I gotta make this fast, so I'm gonna start talking. one of the major things that they've been doing with me, and I got over 1,000 audio files to prove it, and if I get arrested, they could start stealing evidence. And if you don't believe that police don't steal evidence, especially attached to gang stalking, Google it. What they've been doing with me is propping up people to get along all my routes every single day, everywhere I go, and have them repeat certain physical gestures. Go to YouTube and type in learning disabled woman, catches gang stalker admitting sent to harass, read comments, which means look at what's in the description of that YouTube video, cross-reference the evidence to the published dates of the videos, to what's in the description of the YouTube videos pertaining to the statements that were made pertaining to the YouTube videos that are in the description and their published dates. What came first? Me exposing I was experiencing it, and then later, and then me catching 3 teenagers admitting they were put on the bus to do it after I was already showing that it was being done around me on videos that were already published online. Okay, so look at that YouTube video. I've caught 6 individuals admitting they were put in my physical presence to do these physical gestures. One of them admitted that a San Diego police officer by the name of Steve told him to do it. That occurred on February 20th, 2013. Go to YouTube and type in learning 2/20/13 learning disabled woman catches another gang stalker admitting sent her harassed. Now, that video shows me saying to this guy as I'm approaching an intersection, you hear me saying, you know, you guys are all the same. That's because after I got off the bus and started walking towards the intersection, I saw him doing it. So when I crossed the street and got at the intersection point where he was, I seen him do it, so I said, you guys are all the same. And then I go, who put you on this corner? And then a San Diego police officer pulled him up in front of us, did a U-turn, and he gaslighted me with these physical gestures. So I go, was it him? And the guy goes, yeah. I go, really? What was his name? He goes, Steve. So you got to listen to that video all the way to the very, very, very end, because you'll additionally hear me say at the very last few seconds, and don't put your hands to your face no more. Okay? So, now the other thing they're doing is get along all my routes on top of staged events and having people repeat certain physical gestures. They're called sensitization methods that can be Googled. So you can go to Google and type in gang stalking, repeating physical gestures, sensitization methods, then go to Google and type in gang stalking, sensitization methods, repeating words and phrases. Okay, and you can YouTube it as well. And you'll see that many, many other targets are saying the same thing. So, because they got to know where you're at and who you are in real time to prop up these people to get around you to repeat the same exact identical words and phrases and physical gestures. And I'm literally going to prove it to you right now. I looked up David Larson's address, the individual I went to go see in Yucca Valley, at UCSD Biomedical Library, SDSU Love Library, and the North University San Diego Public Library. All 3 of these places I have caught gang stalk, oh my god, gang stalk weird, gang stalk crazy, suck my dick, excuse my language, being said around me on hundreds of audio files in the same exact identical way. I then look up David Larson's address, the transportation routes to get to Yucca Valley, and all transportation services that Yucca Valley public transportation offers, so I could catch their transportation services to get to where I would get off the bus at once I arrived in Yucca Valley to David Larson's address. I looked up all these transportation services and David Larson's address at the North University San Diego Public Library, SDSU Biomedical Library, UCSD Biomedical Library, and SDSU Love Library. Cyber surveillance is a method of gang stalking. Go all over the internet. I mean, go on the internet, you will see that it is all over the internet, showing that it is a method of theirs, included it being stated by a police officer, by viewing the news broadcast, gang stalking, bullying on steroids. So they seen I was preparing to go out there, and what they did was, through the stalking, tracking, and observation, they had me gang stalk from there. I experienced it on the bus routes and train routes getting there, and all over Yucca Valley when I was there. The same exact identical verbal harassment that I experienced along all my routes in San Diego County. And I'm going to prove it right now. Do you hear these men say gang stalk? You might be able to hear them say, oh my god, and then you're going to hear a woman just flat out say gang stalking. Okay, that's not the one. Sorry about that. Here it is. That was one of them, but not the one I wanted to show you. Hold on a second.
I'm gonna go hang
Now this event occurred on December 11th, 2012. Okay. Now what you're about ready to hear is me being on a sidewalk on November 28th, 2013, 11 months later. 11 months and 10 days, 11 days later. No, 11 months and... No, I'm sorry, 11 months and, I don't know, 13, 14 days, whatever. Later, in La Jolla, which is 160 miles away from Yucca Valley, which was right up the road from my last hiking area, and one of the two men that played a role in this was directly connected to 3 or 4 men that they had propped up to hike out 100 feet away from me at that area within 10 days of me moving there from another area that was 30 miles away that I was already making videos at concerning how I was stating that other individuals were getting up on the sidewalk and saying gang stalk. And those videos are online, so you could probably go, you could probably find them by going to Google. Hang on. You could probably find them by going to YouTube and type Google and typing in MTS Assault YouTube channel, and then scroll all the way back to 2012 YouTube videos, and you'll find them. You'll see me on the internet stating that people are pulling up in small buses, getting out of the bus, standing on the sidewalk, and saying gang stalk. Okay. Now, also go to Exposing Police 1. The following names are, you type in at Google, and then after you type the names in, do a space and then do YouTube channel. Exposing Police 1. Exposing San Diego, Exposing SDPD 3, Exposing SDPD 1. These are all YouTube channels. When you go to Google and type in these, like, you know, the name and then space YouTube channel, you should be able to bring these YouTube channels up and then scroll within the channels to see all the YouTube videos that I made, going all the way back to 2012, 13, 14, and Exposing Police 1 will also hold 2015 videos. You'll literally see I was stating that they were propping people up on the sidewalk when I was camping over off of Friars Mensa Center, which is 30 miles away from La Jolla. Okay, and then I catch the same technique being said around me in La Jolla by one of 2 men in this event you're about ready to hear, saying it right across the street from the hiking area where I was hiking at, right up the street from UCSD. It occurred on November 28, 2013. I believe it was Thanksgiving Day. Do you hear these 2 men say gang stalk together? Then one says gang stalking. Then that same one says gang stalking, I'm going to F you up. Come on. My name is Leslie Williams. I don't know about you fellow American citizens, but tape recorders and cell phones and cell phone videos and 1,000 audio files don't lie, and they can't have a mental illness. And the reason why I bring that up is because the police officers and the doctors, including doctors and psychiatrists in detention centers, okay, doctors and psychiatrists in county mental health. If this video stops while I'm in the middle of talking, it's just because I'm running out of video time. So just make sure you research everything I stated in this video. Doctors, lawyers, judges, prosecutors, police officers, fire department, EMS, they'll all claim you're crazy, even though tape recorders can't have a mental illness. Now, can they? Do you believe that this physical apparatus, this tangible piece of electronics, can have a mental disorder? A mental illness? They try to claim you're hearing things. They try to claim that you're being stalked by people who don't know because you have a mental illness. Why would people be getting around me on over 1,000 audio files, okay, saying gang stalk, oh my God, in the same exact identical way every day, everywhere I go? And if you look inside these YouTube channels that I've described, you'll see more evidence than just this. Go to YouTube and type in Learning Disabled Woman Exposes Gang Stalking in Yucca Valley. There's at least 4 videos online that are dedicated to just a small aspect of what I put up with in Yucca Valley. So they're staging events at libraries. I just got a letter being banned from UCSD, but they didn't give me one reason why. They said if I ever go back on campus again, they'll call the SDPD and arrest me for trespassing and give me a fine for $5,000, even though they gang stalked the living shit out of me on that campus and let every single person that participated in it walk away scot-free. They're criminals. They're lying, filthy criminal whores, and that's all they are. My name is Leslie Williams. I'm predicting right now I'm going to be banned from the Law Library, the North University San Diego Public Library, and any other place I go to use community computers in order to be able to continue to expose what they're doing to me, and they're going to make my laptop inoperable, including tomorrow when I go over to a San Diego North University San Diego Public Library. I'm being gang-stalked in that library like you would not believe. Absolutely. So just research what I've stated, and then you'll be able to see what I got to live through every day. I never have 1 minute's peace because I'm constantly concerned, are they going to prop somebody up here today and then use them as a buffer between me and the police, and then I'll be arrested. If I get arrested for illegal lodging, I lose my social services and my social security. They're even sending me threatening text messages stating they're going to do it. Literally. Literally. And this is how I got to friggin' live on a daily basis because of these wild criminal right-ass whores. Okay, so UCSD, go to YouTube. So when you think of UCSD, go to YouTube and type in similarities between gang stalking and human trafficking. Alright, I gotta go. I do appreciate you listening. This is an update video. And if you see me in the community, you can smile at me, you can wave hi from a distance, but I just want you to know what's happening to me is not because of any choice I've ever made or any person I don't even know anybody in California, not a soul. Thanks for listening and have a nice day. I gotta go. I'm gonna run out of video time. Thanks for listening, okay? Bye.